Do you judge what other bikers are wearing?
Oh my goodness, that boy is wearing trainers.
Not just bikers, just the general public's fashion sense. This is Port Glasgow, obviously, fashion capital of Scotland this year. So hey folks, hope yous are all well.
So I was talking to a guy the other day. It's a customer of mine actually, and he was telling me his neighbour had bought a trike, like a traditional two wheels at the back, one at the front style trike. It was 1000cc, and he said he really fancies one because you don't need to wear a helmet when you're on it. That was his reason, because you don't need to wear a helmet. And realistically, this guy is, I would say, even older than me, so he should have more life knowledge where helmets are a good thing. He did have a good head of hair on, the guy, right enough, so maybe it was a whole didn't want to mess up his hair. But it made me think, I wasn't one for wearing helmets on bikes when I was a kid, but that was a generation thing. When I was in the back of the car as a kid, I was just sitting in a normal seat. Some cars that we had didn't even have rear seat belts, which is mental. Do you think that now? But I think helmets are a great thing. More so because they protect our brains, and the more brain protection you've got, the better. In any sport. Although again, when I snowboarded, didn't wear a helmet. My mate Miller, who I've spoke about before, he still occasionally snowboards. He wears a helmet. And when did he start wearing a helmet when he snowboarded? I'm guessing about 10 years ago, when he started riding a motorbike. I'll just hold off for yous. So we learn as we get older. My kid learned quite early on. He was into these freestyle stunt scooter things, and in fact I won't go that way, I'll just go this way. And he didn't used to wear a helmet. I didn't force him to wear a helmet because he wasn't going on crazy ass huge ramps. But as he got older, he did start moving up the ramps. Not the ranks, the ramps. And what we found is a lot of the skate parks you went to, the ones you had to pay to get into, helmet only policy. So the kids had to wear a helmet. Me, myself, as an adult, I didn't have to wear a helmet. You aren't picturing me now on one of these scooters, are you folks? No. This is me here, in fact. I'll show this little tiny clip. But I didn't wear a helmet. If I was to go on a concrete skate park, that was a wooden one, I would definitely wear a helmet. wood absorbs a lot of the the pressure when you fall on wood. It's not the same as falling on concrete or even tarmac. But it's crazy to me to think the only legal requirement to ride on the road, or to ride a motorcycle on the road nowadays, is only a helmet. I've heard people getting pulled over by the cops and advised what they should be wearing, but if it's not a law, they can't do anything about it. So in my opinion, all the gear, all the time is the way I roll on these things, regardless of the CC or the power output they've got, because it's better to be equipped than not to be equipped. My sister, or one of my sister's husbands, has got twin brothers, and when they were in their early 20s, one of them started getting into motorbikes, and the two of them went up a ride up to Loch Lomond one day. Both of them had helmets on, leather jackets, gloves. Not sure about the footwear, but they had regular Levi type jeans on, and they came off and seriously messed up both their legs, just with them scraping along the ground, burning along the tarmac. I swear I just seen drops of snow there. It is. It's like that polystyrene snow. So as a kid, I was 6 or 7 years old. It was on my first BMX, and I was going no hands along this ash path, red ash, the sort of stuff they have football and hockey pitches on, and I hit a bump in the path, and I came off, and I was wearing shorts, and then the pedals in the BMX is like a serrated grippy pedal, like the sort of footrest you have on adventure bikes, I've noticed, and that went right into my knee, and that was a trip to A&E. Unfortunately, spent a lot of time in hospitals over the years, mostly down to my own fault normally. So the nurse had a little sponge, said I'm going to have to give this a good clean out with the sponge, and I can remember cringing at the thought of it, just like I am now thinking about it, but mostly because I'm coming to the next bit. On the back of the sponge there was a scrubbing brush, and she had to scrub my knee with that scrubbing brush. Then I got half a dozen stitches on it and sent home. When I was 4 years old, without sounding like Ed Sheeran, when I was 4 years old I split my head. Well, that's what happened. A neighbour who was 5 pushed me off a little wall. The wall was about 12 to 18 inches tall. It was a little tiny wall, and I fell and hit my head from that height and split my head open. So when it comes to motorcycles and life in general, learn from other people's mistakes. It can save you your life. But seriously, all the gear, all the time, regardless of how hot the weather gets. I'm sure we're due a couple of weeks of sunshine this summer, although we're in April just now, and May's been good the last few years, so fingers crossed. Although tomorrow would be better, but now it's snowing, and it was about 8 degrees when I last looked, so can somebody explain to me how is it snowing when it's 8 degrees? Well, I don't know. People queuing for the dump. So peace out, folks. Take it easy, and hopefully it doesn't get any more snowier. Crazy. Peace out, folks. Cheers. T-shirts on motorbikes, each to their own. Who am I to judge?